Hi, I'm Paris, and this is the Toyota 2020 CHR, which I only found out after renting it is considered the one Toyota you should never buy. Let me check and see, is it really as bad as they say?
parristx shows you only the best.
So I came up to visit family in Seattle, and I chose the very cheapest car rental option, which is, I don't care what size it is, what type of car, but it's very cheap, but they get to pick what they give me, whatever they have left over, and this is what they had left over. When I got in it, I thought these purple curved lines all across the dash and down the sides of the doors, I thought they were neon lights. I thought, oh my gosh, since the last time I've looked at cars, they sure have changed with those interior mood lighting, but it's actually just a very bright finish, but it's cool. I thought though, this is really a car for young people. I noticed too the pattern in the doors, it's into the plastic. On the seats, we've got the same matching color of thread on the fabric seats, which are nice and comfortable, but it's all put together so well and matches. When I came up to it to load my luggage, I noticed that the frames of the rear lights actually stick out from the trunk. So I thought that was interesting. It's a hatchback. It's got a little flimsy cover here you can put up so people can't see what you have in back. There was room for my suitcases. However, when I went to put things in the back seat, I noticed there's no door handle here. There's a door handle here on the top of the car. And I'd seen that once on a car before, I don't remember which brand, where only there was only one door for the rear seat. But this one does have two doors, and they both have the same system with the handle up at the top for whatever reason. Now, when I threw my stuff that I needed here in the back seat, I did notice, yeah, that looks a little small. But once I pushed the front seat back to give me enough legroom in the front as driver, if I try to become a passenger, oh, the legs, I don't think they're gonna make it. Yeah, oh, all right. I know if I was sitting up there, I would feel my knees in the middle of my back. I'm 6'1" and just kind of catches my hair. I sit up straight right there. So it's not too bad headroom wise, but the legroom, it's just ridiculous. Some of the bluish purple accents did make their way to the back seat there, along here. But what we don't have back here is a vent for AC, for heat, or any kind of controls, whether up here or down here. It's a pretty bare minimum back seat. And there is technically room for a third person back here. And then you'd have someone sitting similarly there, which would give the middle person, oh gee, maybe about 11 inches from hip to hip to be able to fit into that spot. But that really didn't surprise me because the looks and styling of this car are for younger folks. And so I thought, well, who's the back seat really for with the weird handle, the tiny little windows, and no room for the legs? It's not where people put their friends, it's where they put their dogs. Dogs, of course, will jump right out when you open the door. In my case, whoa, one leg at a time, prying. Okay, watch hitting the head again. Okay, yeah, not a place you'd want to put a human. I like the styling of the wheels, the swoopy lines of it. In the sort of spoiler here, there's even the cutouts, which I don't know what function they serve, but they look pretty cool. And I'll walk around here, give you a better sense of the whole car. It's distinctive, it's funky, it's fun. Okay, you come up to the car at night, open the door, and look what you get here. Oh my gosh, on the ground. from the mirror, you see it, and over here on this side too. Is that crazy or what? Now these are all the good points about the car. I have run out of them. Now let me tell you about the rest of the things I've discovered while driving it. As a rental car, I really can't expect this to be a higher end model with lots of features, but it's pretty basic key fob, just lock, unlock, and panic button. Push button start up. We've got a center console. It relies a lot on your phone. I don't want to hook my phone up. I never like pairing it with Bluetooth because it pulls all my contacts over into the car, and I'm not sure it's going to forget them when I'm done. But without hooking up your phone, it's pretty much AM, FM radio, and it shows you how you're doing on mileage. Speaking of mileage, the last 2.5 hours of driving that I did were highway driving. In fact, most of it has been highway driving, but in Seattle, there was a lot of stop and go highway driving. Still in Seattle, I would say I got around 26-ish miles per gallon. And out on the highway, which was open road and I was not driving crazy, barely broke 30 miles per gallon. So okay mileage, but for a small little car like this, not very good mileage. Does it have a big engine and lots of power to explain that? Not hardly. It's a 2-liter 4-cylinder engine that produces about 140 horsepower. There's a continuously variable transmission paired with this low-powered engine. It does not scoot along at all quickly. Now, it wasn't too bad in Seattle. Getting on and off the highway when it's stop-and-go traffic doesn't really tax it. But I did find, coming over the mountains to eastern Washington here, that when I decided I wanted to speed up and pass someone, I had to plan ahead. So what does that look like in actual driving? Well, let's find out. Slight uphill here. Let's accelerate. Stinking. Okay. But the interior is relatively quiet while driving, except for that roar when you do need to suddenly accelerate. And for me, I'm not much of a lead foot, so I found driving over the pass, it really wasn't an issue. The only time I could see it being a downside, whether you bought this car or even as a rental car, is if you're in a strange city you don't know and you've got to get on the highway and it may be an on-ramp that's a steep uphill and then a very short merge lane with the rest of traffic. Could be a little bit frightening. But other than that, rare occasion. I really don't think the reputation of this car as being the one Toyota you should never buy really is a fair assessment. So long as you know its limitations and accept that and can work with it, and you like the quirkiness and the offbeat styling, at least take it for a test drive, I'd say. I'll link to the specs on it down below this video. Now with car shortages, the pricing on it, it's hard to tell. Even as a couple-year-old car, it may sell for as much as a brand new similar model. And I'm pretty confident it'll get me back across the mountains, at which point I'll see you on the next review.
There are so many choices and you don't want to stress. You want your health food at home, receiving only the best. That's what we're here for, we give honest reviews. parristx.